I'll rip and screaming from your soul. We'll watch it fall. Now you come to walk on. Come and set your light through. Just set your light through before we're only whispers in the wind. You can turn my world upside down, a rush like I've not felt before. I can trust myself. I need you to make it turn. I know. Will you follow me when the sky starts to change? Yeah, we won't be afraid. We'll never be the same again. Will you follow me? We won't leave it to chance. We can't wait our romance. We'll never be the same I could keep the light from turning into darkness. You'd be my escape. What have we been told? Easy to unfold. Future might seem average, but we're getting close. Will you follow me when the sky starts to change? Yeah, we won't be afraid. We'll never be the same again. Will you follow me? We won't leave it to chance. We can't wait our romance. We'll never be the same again. Will you follow me when the sky starts to change? Yeah, we won't be afraid. We'll never be the same again. Will you follow me when the sky starts to change? Yeah, we won't be afraid. We'll never be the same again. Will you follow me? We won't leave just to spit it out. Does it feel better now? So tell me, where did we go wrong along the way? What happened to the purpose? 'Cause it feels worthless now. There's nothing left to say. 'Cause every time I tell myself that I'm okay, it feels like the days that
With anime in our souls and thoughts of wrestling out of control, we are a group of weebs who love the entertainment of professional wrestling. So allow us to be the voices inside of your head as we go through the wrestling events of the evening, give our thoughts and predictions on what's to come, and provide an experience inclusive to all you nerds out there. So grab your steel chair, yell for the table, and get put through an experience unlike any other. Brought to you, of course, by Animal We Studio. This is the Weebs of the Ring podcast. Happy Saturday to everyone out there, and hopefully you had a good day, a good, restful, awesome day filled with some good wrestling, some good storylines going forward, especially when it comes to WWE land and all that. Yeah, we're going to be here talking about the show and all that. And I'm just going to be upfront, everybody. This was a good PLE. You know, I had a lot of fun with it. I think a lot of matches delivered, a lot of storyline progressions delivered, and compared to WrestlePalooza, I was very much pleased. But of course, let us know in the chat or the comments if you're watching the VOD down below. Let us know your thoughts on the PLE, your match of the night, your move of the night, your superstar of the night, whatever have you. Let us know down there. And be sure to like the video because, hey, every like means that both Buddy and Sydney all get a treat because they are such good dogs. And if you keep liking the video, we'll keep giving them treats. So without further ado, let's get into some introductions because, hey, it's great that we have people that are returning listeners or returning reviews and all that. That's always great and everything. But we got to think about the new people coming in, you know, the new people that had just bought their tickets, going into the theater and all that, where they're finding their seats and everything, getting their beverage for the evening. I always think of you guys as well. So quick introductions as we are your Weebs of the Ring. I, of course, am one of your co-hosts, your reigning, defending, undisputed, universal heavyweight champion of the world, Watkins here. I'm going to be your guide through this wrestling event of the evening. And of course, never alone in this endeavor. Usually we have Vash here, who is known as a visionary, known as a revolutionary, blah, 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 all that stuff. He's Bill Goldberg's #1 fan and all that. You're probably seeing him at Anime. I almost said Anime NYC. That's the one I went to. He's at Comic-Con in New York. So if you're out there, go check him out, go see him, go say hi and all that stuff. But of course, the man, the myth, the legend himself, known as Drop This Box is here. He is known as the genius of the mat around these parts. And he's the guy who's going to help us process these stories that, yeah, there was some progression going on tonight. A lot of stuff that we've been asking and kind of wanting for the past few months. But of course, Drop, let the people know how you doing tonight, and I guess your early thoughts of the show.
So, as you guys know, I am Drop This Box. Now that you guys know who I am, after that wonderful introduction that Watkins gave all of us, and I would have to say this was a really good show. I agree with Watkins. I had a fun time watching this. I didn't catch it when it came on. I waited a little bit in the afternoon when I had some time. I was doing laundry earlier, so I figured if I was doing the laundry and then I had that on, I can, you know, focus on both of them. So I had something going on at the time watching it. But it was a really good show, like I said, and I really enjoyed a lot of parts of the show. There's definitely a lot of things to talk about when it comes to what's the next step when it comes to these feuds and everything. And I'm just really looking forward to talk about the show. Like I haven't felt this good in a while because these past PLEs, when it comes to WWE, especially when it came to WrestlePalooza, which I thought on paper, just based on how they were structuring everything, it was going to be a lot better than it was. But unfortunately, we didn't really get that with that. But it just feels good coming on here after another PLE coverage to, you know, talk about what happened with this show, because there's a lot of good stuff here.
Yeah, and especially come on here and talk more positively about the show, because, yeah, I don't really have much gripes when it comes to tonight. Some things might be like nitpicky at best, but yeah, we just had a really strong night of just like really good wrestling. Some good storyline progression from a lot of aspects, and just overall fun, man. Like this show really had a lot of what wrestling fans do watch wrestling for, whether it's the action that you're into, the storyline drama of it all, or the silly shenanigans that come with some of these matches and all that. So yeah, let's just dive right into some of this stuff. I kind of want to start with our main event here for the men's crown jewel title. We had Cody Rhodes taking on Seth freaking Rollins, the world heavyweight champion, taking on the WWE champion for a title that basically means, hey, you're the most undisputed of the undisputed champions. You are the cream of the crop, the top tier, the man, and all that stuff. So already going in, you know the story going into this. Cody's 3-0 against Seth, and Seth's kind of in this desperation mode, which is basically the whole story of the match too when you get into it. Like, he's acting a lot differently than usual. He's very much what's the word? Desperate. He's acting very desperate, and there's a few times where he kind of starts crashing out a little bit within the match. I mean, there's a point where he goes out and like shoves Michael Cole down and starts yelling at Wade Barrett because he kind of put more emphasis on the whole Seth as a wanker kind of thing from SmackDown last night. So yeah, Seth didn't really much like that, but man, this was a great contest between these guys. This is exactly what you want out of your main event for any PLE, mind you, but like especially the guys who are holding your company, like the two pillars of your company right now, the one on SmackDown, the one on Raw, the ones that are holding down that main event scene on each show. Like, this is exactly the quality match that you need to showcase for those main events and for those talents going forward. And so, yeah, again, Seth was desperate in this match. That's the whole crux of everything. That's what's driving him forward. Because, like, and I said this in our Discord too, Seth right now, he has a lot more to lose than back when he faced Cody the first 3 times. Like, back then, he was just kind of being a dick at the time, and he needed a WrestleMania opponent for the one. He wanted to face Cody again to hopefully get one up on him, and then of course the Hell in a Cell match where that was mainly where he was a dick and all that stuff. But like here, he has so much to lose, not only just like his own pride, but he could be losing the vision. He could be losing his own just like aura about him, or just like his own ego, I guess. You know, basically what he wants to do going forward and all that. So yeah, a lot riding on all this. And I guess the one big thing I liked about this is the fact that he did this on his own. Like, we had mentioned it during the predictions and last night, Seth did this on his own. Even though there was, you know, some shenanigans going on, it was still Seth Rollins shenanigans, not people coming out, not Paul Heyman out there, nothing like that. So a few things I want to hit on with this match, though, but I'm gonna pass it on to Drop really quick to kind of give his thoughts on the match itself. Before we dive into some other things, just like how'd you feel about this match and like the story going into it, and kind of how everything played out, especially with Seth Rollins using the watch to end up winning and beating Cody tonight.
So I thought him using the watch was symbolic because that pretty much showcases like their history with each other, especially when Cody won the big one at WrestleMania 40 last year. So there's a lot of symbolism behind that watch. It was kind of like the little cherry on top to really seal the deal and win the match for Seth Rollins. So because he's been like playing around with this watch for like a couple weeks now, he's been looking at it. We basically know there's a lot of meaning behind it. So we obviously knew it was going to come into play somehow in this match. And indeed it did. He just waited for the right opportunity to use it. But I thought this was a great match between the both of these guys, and I really wasn't expecting a bad match because it's like I said before, we've seen these guys in the ring 4 times now when it comes to one-on-one matches, and every single match that they've had has been very good. The first match has been good. The second match has been good. The third match has been good. The fourth match was good as well. I would probably have to say outside of the Hell in a Cell match that they had, this is probably like, this is really up there. That could potentially be the best out of the 4 because these guys went to war with one another. I'd seen Cody Rhodes do things that he hasn't done ever since he came into WWE, like the kind of stuff that he was pulling off in this match was like AEW Cody. Because the last time that Cody Rhodes hit an avalanche crossroads was in AEW when it was like a table spot. That was the last time that I've ever seen Cody Rhodes execute an avalanche crossroads. He has never done that since he's returned to WWE. That was like in AEW. I think it was a match he had with Darby Allin or somebody. I can't remember off the top of my head who it was, but it's like that was just impressive as heck. Then you see Seth Rollins with the Spanish Fly. Then you see Cody Rhodes and Seth Rollins just pulling a lot of things out of their book that they don't typically use all the time. You see it here and there, but they were like trying to do the best that they possibly can to, like, you know, beat the other guy. Either that guy's going to go to the 1, 2, 3, or the other one's going to get the 1, 2, 3. So these guys did a very good job. So the match quality itself, as I expected walking into this match and watching it, because this match was 29 minutes and 43 seconds. I'm looking at Cage Match right now. So it was almost a half hour. And that's like the that's the longest match on the PLE outside of the John Cena one. So it's like, I just loved everything about the match. I didn't have any issues with it. A lot of people said, like I said before, just recently when it comes to our prediction show, is that Seth Rollins and Cody Rhodes have always been known to be like soulmates in the ring. They know each other very well. They know all the kind of tricks that they're going to pull. That's why they can't really catch each other off guard, because the other guy already knows, oh, okay, I've seen you do this before in the past. Or if you try to, you know, one up me, I already know how to counter it. So it's not like it's going to be effective this time. I just read you like a book. And that's just how it is in WWE. Sometimes you just know your opponent so well, you can't really like outsmart them unless, you know, there's that one thing that maybe they don't think of, like the watch with Seth Rollins. Because if that watch didn't come into play, I would assume Cody Rhodes probably would have won that match. Seth Rollins just needed to be desperate. That's the main theme of Seth Rollins these past couple weeks, ever since everything that transpired at WrestlePalooza when he came across Cody Rhodes and they were building to this match. Desperation has been on his mind, and obviously people go to lengths in order to do things that they need to do, and that's what they needed to do. It made sense. It didn't really seem like a cheap cop out or anything. It played perfectly with the whole story that was going on here. And also, another thing to say as well is, you know, finally he could, you know, get off all of that worry. He finally knows that he's beaten Cody Rhodes. Cody Rhodes is fine. Nothing's gonna go on with the guy that's literally he just rubbing off the dirt off his shoulders. He's fine. Nothing's gonna happen to him. But Seth Rollins really needed this, and I am very, very happy that he did it on his own, because one thing that I forgot to mention to you that I also did like was what we saw a little bit earlier in the show, where Paul Heyman was in the back talking to Bronson Reed and Braun Breaker, where he was like, you know, listen here. If he goes up there and the turnbuckle and he starts waving his arms, don't go out there. Don't help him, because obviously he needs to prove who's the best right now in the company. So I'm glad he said that, and I'm glad that didn't come into play, because that's what I wanted. I wanted him to do it on his own, regardless how he got there, and that's what he did. And sometimes you need to do things like that to really play into a very good match, which these guys did, and I'm very happy for that.
Yeah. Oh, same here too. And I think I'm glad you brought that up, because that is a conversation piece I wanted to have here regarding this match too, is the fact that Paul Heyman has a kind of a break glass in case of plan when it comes to if Seth Rollins ends up failing everything. Because the way he was talking to Braun in the back was just like, hey, you know, if he fails tonight, then you know what needs to happen. So he's already told these two what needs to happen when/if Seth Rollins fails. And I'm just going to throw this out there too, because I don't know if you saw some of the rumors going around about Saturday Night's Main Event coming up, but apparently one of the rumored matches for that night is Seth versus CM Punk for the world title. So if Seth were to lose there, lose to CM Punk again, and we see this backup plan happen. I mean, we at least know, like, now that we know that there's a plan going involved, we're gonna all be on the lookout as fans of, like, okay, when's gonna be the moment that Seth falters, he fails, that means the backup plan is now in effect. So, like, we're gonna be anticipating that now. We're gonna hold on to that in our little back pockets, be like, all right, Paul Heyman's got a gun ready, ready to shoot and take out Seth Rollins if/when he ends up failing the group and all that. So, yeah, that definitely something I wanted to bring up there regarding that segment too. And again, like, yeah, there's a little asterisk with like the whole watch thing. I get that, I understand that, but again, and I'm pretty sure we said this too during the prediction show, the history book is going to say Seth Rollins defeated Cody Rhodes. That's all that matters to him. And that's all that matters to, like, a heel like him too, is just the fact that he can say he beat Cody Rhodes. Have your asterisk if you want, fine, cool, whatever, but it doesn't matter. At the end of the day, Seth Rollins won. And man, just going through this match too, like, again, these two went to war with each other. These are two guys who not only know each other very well, but they're also, like, and I think this was in the hype package too, which is also really good. Like, good job WWE production for putting up this hype package. But there was a moment in there where it was mentioned, I want to say it was a Corey Graves line. It was the fact that both guys are basically in their prime right now. Like, this is the best version of both of them, which, I mean, an argument can be made on the Seth Rollins side of that, because, I mean, I remember him back in, like, 2015, 2016 time and all that. But, I mean, at the end of the day, these are two warriors at, like, the top of their game right now, and just in different levels of their game. And having them go against each other as in the way they did was superb. It was so freaking good. Like, I mean, we could go blow for blow for this. I mean, there were pedigrees, there were different, like, submissions going on. Like, there was a lot going on in this match, and it just goes to show, like, when you have something like, how do I word this? How do I word this? Because, like, this is what happens when you have two high class warriors facing off against each other. Like, this is your Naruto versus Sasuke moment right here at the end of Shippuden. Like, both of them have become ninja gods. They can both become giant kaiju versions of each other and fighting each other. And it gets to, like, the nitty gritty mud of it all, like, just slugfest and all that. And that's what we got near the end of this. Like, both of them just, like, beating the crap out of each other. And that's not the first time we get that tonight either. Like, there's another match which we'll talk about after this that also has stuff in there like that. But, like, that's what I watch wrestling for. It's just, like, watching, like, either two men or two women just not only beat the crap out of each other, but to, like, you feel that fire, you feel that intensity, you feel that, like, desire to win and all that. And you got that in this match from both guys. And man, it's just so freaking good. But man, just high quality, man. It's one of those moments, and this is one of those matches that just reminds you of why you watch professional wrestling. And again, I'll say the same thing too when we get to the next match too. Like, this is exactly what I watch it for. Just, like, two warriors trying to be better than the other. Yeah, there's a story going on with some of them and all that, but, like, this is one of those matches that really gets me into it.
Yeah, I don't blame you. Like, whenever I see these two guys involved in everything, like, involved in anything, I'm automatically, like, sucked into the screen. And this isn't the only time I've been fully absorbed in a match, because trust me, there's another match in particular that we're going to be talking about next that just completely took me away, just based on everything that transpired there. But I just loved the storytelling in this match. I love the chemistry that these two guys have, and I just loved the deeper meaning behind, you know, what Seth Rollins really needs to do in order to really progress himself, push himself with this vision that he has. That's why I like how he grabbed the mic, not getting a typical interview, and just saying it how it is, that he finally beat Cody Rhodes. The weight off his shoulders feels really, really good. You guys don't even know how it feels because you're not me right now experiencing all of this. And now that I've beat one of the now that I beat one of the greats in the company, I can consider myself one of the greatest of all time, which he's not wrong because, Cody Rhodes is one of the top stars in the company, just like Bronson Reed that we'll talk about a little bit later. He has every right to just flex about beating Roman Reigns. So it's like with Seth Rollins doing something like that with Cody Rhodes, I mean, hey, that's something to really talk about because that's like the number one guy in the company right now. And if you get a W under your belt because of that, considering your status and also considering the status of that title, which is another thing, like not the Crown Jewel Championship itself, but the title that he has in his possession, the World Heavyweight Championship, which Paul Heyman even said when he talked to him backstage on Monday, if you lose, you're just going to look like that secondary champion. I mean, you got to prove exactly why that championship is worth it, why it has a lot of meaning moving forward when it comes to what it truly is inside. And that's one of the things I really liked with Seth Rollins because he did a great job the first time when he won it, when he became the inaugural champion of that title. And he's honestly, I would have to say, probably has been the best one really representing that title outside of the other people that got. I'm not really count Punk or anything, but Seth Rollins really was the one that made that title feel special, and that's kind of what you need with this vision. That's why I was happy he didn't go after the other title when he won the Money in the Bank, because the one on Monday Night Raw is the one that really needs the reps, the one that really needs to feel special. And the fact that he can move forward and figure out what's on his radar next, I mean, I'm just really happy for him, and I felt like it was the right decision. A lot of people in the community agreed it was the right decision to go forward with this move, and I'm just happy how everything transpired here. Like, I don't have any issues with this. This is definitely a match that has replayability. So I would definitely go back and watch this again because these two guys teared the absolute roof off the place. And not only that, though, but I would got to give a shout out to like the crowd too. They really helped enhance a lot of these matches within the show tonight. So I'm very grateful for what they gave this match as well to really make it feel special inside.
Yeah, no, I would agree with that. Like, the crowd tonight were hot throughout the whole night. Like, there weren't really a lot of lull periods or like a lot of low periods for the crowd to kind of catch their breath and all that stuff. But they were on it all night, which, yeah, good on you, Perth. Good job for being a good, fun crowd all night. And I mean, yeah, just the story with Seth Rollins with this World Heavyweight title is very intriguing when you look at everything like in the bigger picture, because like you put it really good. It's just like, he made that title mean something, and then he lost it to Drew, who then lost it in like 5 minutes to Damian Priest. And Damian Priest, his reign was fine. There were some good things, some not so great things during the reign, but it was fine. And then Gunther got it, and well, we saw what happened with all that, which then led to Gunther dropping it to Punk, and then Punk losing it in 5 minutes back to Seth. So now Seth is on this journey to make that title mean something again. And again, that's just part of his vision, and that's why, like, because I know I was one to harp on like, oh, he should go after Cody because that's like the top title and all that. But like, looking at it now in hindsight and all that, I do see with lack of a better term, the vision of him going for the World Heavyweight title, being the one to make that mean something, make that be the top title now. Because now he's beaten the company champion basically. Like, he is now at the top of the company now he's pretty much made the World Heavyweight title the company championship, like, instead of like the Workman's Championship and all that. Like, he really did some good with that title, and he's going to continue to make some good with that title, and whoever takes it off of him are going to be made, whether that's Punk in the long run or Braun Breaker turning on him or anything. Whoever beats him for that is going to get a title that's going to really mean something, and something that they're going to have to continue pushing forward and all that. But I do see our chat popping up. Oh man, hopefully everybody's doing all right. Yeah, I'm trying to spit some facts here. You know, we're having fun and all that stuff tonight. Yeah, again, I would going blow for blow for this. We would be here all night, but we got a lot of other matches we got to talk about and everything. I don't. Was there anything you wanted to add with this match? I mean, we kind of hit a lot of the big stuff here. With like, I think the main focus here was just like Seth's desperation throughout the match, him trying to pull out big moves, him like almost second guessing using the watch at first. But I do like how he did put it down in a spot where it's just like, okay, if I do need it, I'll get it. And, he scurried over to it and used it and all that. Like, again, all according to plan, but I loved it. Like, I really like this in-ring storytelling we were doing throughout tonight and all that. Like, it's definitely something that really... Again, we had said, this should have been the main event, which it was. And this is exactly why it should have been, because this story going into it really made the show and all that. And this was a show that had a lot of good moments and a lot of good matches too. Maybe one. There was maybe one match I wasn't fully locked in on, which we'll get to later and all that. But other than that, everything else, it delivered for me and everything. But any final words when it comes to the main event here?
Honestly, I pretty much said everything that I needed to say here. I'm just really looking forward to, like, Michael Cole said on commentary, like, what's next once we hit Monday Night Raw, which again is going to be another early show at 8 a.m. that I'm more than likely not going to watch that early. So I'll probably check it out whenever I can, whenever the time is right and everything, because obviously we all have things going on throughout the week, so we can only catch it when there's the time that's really out there. But it's like, I pretty much just want to see what's going through Seth's head next, heading into whatever's in his direction now.
Yeah. I mean, it might be Punk if rumors are to be believed and all that, but we'll come to that road when we cross it in its eventuality. But yeah, I think we've exhausted a good conversation when it comes to this main event. Let's move on now to another match that, again, was a lot of fun, and I mean, say what you want about nostalgia and like hitting certain moves and, oh, they kicked out of that herper. Like, say what you want about all that, but I don't care. This match was hella fun. AJ Styles taking on John Cena. Oh my God. Okay. This.
Yeah.
I don't know where to begin with this. Like, this.
Yeah.
You know what? Drop. Can you start it? Guys, I legitimately, like, I'm sitting here. Right. I'm like, okay, do I go through how, like what these two superstars mean to me first? Do I go through just like how they were pulling off like moves from wrestlers of their own past, wrestlers that they each had?
I'm actually glad you brought
with.
that up, because I actually stumbled across something on Twitter that I'll use as a reference for that. But I'll start off first. Honestly, like, I was so absorbed in this match between John Cena and AJ Styles, and it's like I said about Seth Rollins and Cody Rhodes. I know who those two guys are. I expect a good match. I don't worry about it. I can say the exact same thing about John Cena and AJ Styles, because the 4 matches that they've had in total, including this one that we had tonight, have all been 10 out of 10 matches, and this is another banger match, which I can honestly say this might have been the best match that they've ever had. Like, they really put everything on the line here. Like, they went to war. When I mean war, like, they went really into war. It was like a hard-fought war between both of these guys, because, like, probably one of my favorite things... Oh, I guess I lost that tweet. Well, we know, because we're smart. We know we know the opponents that they've had over the years, but it's like seeing John Cena hit a skull-crushing finale, giving homage to The Miz, seeing him hit a Sister Abigail, giving homage to Bray Wyatt, which is another beautiful thing that we saw towards the end, when you saw like the whole crowd lighting up their phones, pretty much just showing their love for him. You also saw him hit a Tombstone Pile Driver, which is obviously homage to the Undertaker. Similar thing with the Undertaker as well too, when AJ Styles was going for a 5-knuckle shuffle, and then he did that thing that Undertaker typically did whenever an opponent got really close to him that catched him off guard, where he set himself up for a choke slam and planted it on him.
Yep.
He did an RKO on Randy Orton. I mean, yeah.
Yes. He even went for a punt kick.
He even went for a punt kick too.
Like,
And he was like really out there. And I like, see, this is the one thing I will say. Like, a lot of people I have seen online understand why certain things were done there. Like, like with AJ Styles, you know, you have the thing with like just like an homage to Christopher Daniels, Samoa Joe.
Yep.
You know, people that he's been with over the years and everything. So I just really like the nostalgia thing, and it just works so well because these guys can still go out there, do their moves that we typically see from them from time to time whenever they're out there. But it's also nice just to see, like, you know, looking back from John Cena, AJ Styles, the beginning of the career, looking at them now, it's kind of like it's pretty much bringing me and you and telling us a story of like their career and the kind of opponents that they come across. And I really liked it because I did see some people online saying it that, oh, it was just a spot fest of finishers and everything, and that's typically
neat
when you run across those people that are simple-minded and don't really take time to understand the bigger picture. And trust me, we're gonna have a lot of conversations about that when people don't understand what the meaning of a true hero is in My Hero Academia. So we'll definitely get to that once we get closer to the end of season 8. But it's like people that were there made the match. They were really into it. Fight forever. I wanted them to fight forever. Like, these guys got a good 27 minutes I saw online. Really happy about that. I'm just glad that they went out there and they were able to just play ball. They were able to go out and do what they love doing. It was pretty much like a lot of people said. It was a love letter to wrestling. That's what it was. It was a love letter to wrestling, and a lot of people that love wrestling felt that deep down inside. And another thing as well that I loved that got me teary-eyed that I mentioned to you is you had John Cena and AJ Styles. Not only them standing across a ring one last time is emotional considering what both of those guys went through, but also I saw that AJ Styles was caught off guard by that tribute letter, that he wasn't even informed about that actually happening. So that was just him expressing emotion in that moment. And that right there really got to me, got me teary-eyed, mentioning the Bullet Club, TNA, the face that runs the place, the guy that can hopefully beat John Cena one last time. Like, that little tribute letter that he had, like, that just really hit me, and I just loved that John Cena did that for him, gave him a little surprise and everything, because he definitely deserves that kind of attention. Like, I just really loved everything that was put into this match. Like, this is a match of the year, hands down, no complaints, 100% perfect match, 10 out of 10, highest score on the chart, breaking the scale, whatever the case may be. This is a 100% perfect wrestling match, and it just felt different tonight. Like, I literally felt like I was in a different universe seeing these guys going back and forth. Like, I was just caught off guard by a lot of things. I almost felt like a dog, just like running around in the bed or just running around in the yard once they go outside because they're so excited to be out there. That's how I truly felt when I was watching this match. Like, this match was great. John Cena's great. AJ Styles is great. I'm glad that we're getting this kind of quality from both of these guys right now. That's what makes me really happy about that. Like, I can't even begin to tell you like how many times I'm gonna rewatch this match. Like, I mentioned how I would rewatch Cody Rhodes and Seth Rollins. Trust me, I will. But this match, man, like, this just hits on another level. Especially if you've been with these guys for so long.
Yeah, this match meant a lot because, and I mean, believe what you want to believe. If if it really was us, the fans, wanting this, and we actually get what we want, or if this was all part of the plan and all that. We got what we wanted. You got what you were gonna get too with this match, and I think the biggest part with this is them using like a bunch of moves from people of their past, and because you kind of see this mainly in Dragon Ball. So I'm going to reference Dragon Ball with this because like a lot of people were just like, oh, Goku stole all these people's moves, blah blah blah. It's just like, yeah, I mean, he's kind of learning from all of them too and all that, but like he's just, yeah, he's just using what's been used on him on his opponents and all that, and whether it's as strong or weaker than the original, hey, that's neither here nor there. That's up for debate and all that, but like most of the time it is weaker than the actual person using it. So of course, like John Cena's chokeslam is going to hit like Undertaker's chokeslam. Scorpion Deathlock from AJ Styles isn't going to hit as hard as Sting's one, for example. So like them pulling out these big moves and all that, fine, cool, whatever. I'm personally fine with it because again, I have that kind of logic in my mind. But kind of sticking with Dragon Ball, because like there was one moment that really it kind of stood out to me, just like, and I think that's just what the vibe of this match was. So I'm gonna try to cast y'all's minds back a little bit, especially some of you Dragon Ball fans and all that. And I mean like Dragon Ball fans, like OG Dragon Ball. So the last arc of that 23rd martial arts tournament, you have Goku versus Piccolo and all that. Well, Piccolo Jr. And very intense, very hard hitting, all that stuff. All huge fight, huge matchup, and all that. And Dragon Ball Z, obviously they become friends and all that. There's like a mutual respect there and everything. So like think of like AJ and Cena's like first few matches back in like the Dragon Ball time. So like, okay, Goku versus Piccolo World Martial Arts Tournament. That was their feud back then. All four of their matches that they had then. Here, it reminded me of this moment from the Dragon Ball Z anime, where it's during the Android saga, like when they're preparing for the androids during like that 3-year time skip and all that. And Goku and Piccolo at the time are training Gohan and everything. So they end up doing like some sparring stuff and all that. And there's a moment where Goku and Piccolo lock up a little bit. And you see it in their eyes too. They're like, it's kind of like the phrase "the rivalry is renewed" was something that was said verbatim every single time for the build for this match. And like I was brought back to that moment a little bit because like we literally had, and I'm going to be using the word warriors for a lot this night. You had two high-class warriors again fighting each other, two people that were like fighting each other to the death at one point, but like again earned a mutual respect towards one another, having this exhibition of a match and all that, and just like having fun. For one, like being able to test each other, being able to push each other to their absolute limits to see exactly who the best is. And I know it's a really random like scene or moment from an anime and all that, but it's like that's basically what the vibe of this match was, And I just wanted to give that example with it because like it's something that really spoke to me a little bit with this because like. When it comes to both of these guys, like Cena, he was there when I first like started watching wrestling on a regular basis, like all the way back in 2002. Like my earliest SmackDown memory was that Ruthless Aggression moment with him and Kurt Angle. Like, so already, Cena's up there. I mean, hell, freaking, I've had this action figure since I've been a little kid of John Cena at that point. And back in like late 2015, early 2016, when I was getting back into wrestling, a guy that stood out to me the most because sometimes I would watch TNA back in the day, like in the mid 2000s and all that. AJ Styles was always there too. So like when I was getting back into wrestling, hearing about AJ and his escapades in Japan, that kind of brought me back too a little bit. Like his match with Shinsuke Nakamura, oh my god, that fully brought me back into the wrestling sphere and all that. So like both of these guys really mean something to me when it comes to professional wrestling. They're the ones that I look at the most when it comes to what I look for in a match, whether it's like the crisp, clean action or the storytelling, character moments, and all that. Like those two brought it. Those two know how to craft a match, and the fact that they crafted what they did here tonight. It was for us fans. This was one not only for them to just have fun with, but it was for us too. And even Michael Cole kind of said it too. Like, and Wade Barrett too was kind of quiet on commentary. Like, both of them were like almost mystified at the fact that these two were pulling out these like finisher moves and all that. Like, they even mentioned on commentary, "Oh, this is like they're playing 2K25 right now. Like, what are they doing right now? Like, this is an insane match. They're pulling off these huge moves on each other and they're kicking out of each of them, you know?" And it finally ends with like a tombstone AA combo and all that to put AJ away. But man, I don't know. It was fun. This just made me feel like a kid again, you know? Like it was just really fun, man. No notes. I mean, we could sit here and nitpick everything like, "Oh, actually the pacing of the match was very bad. It was very slow, very prodding." It's just like we could, but forget that. Forget that. I choose to be happy tonight. I choose to be on the positive side of history when it comes to talking about Crown Jewel 2025. This was a fun match. This was great. It seems like me and Drop both had a hell of a time watching this. I mean, we had a freaking Deadeye in this match. We don't often get to see moves like that in WWE. That's a freaking Hangman Adam Page move that they pulled out of their ass here. Like, okay, all right. And let alone like the freaking vertebraker we got from the Cody Seth match. Like we had some good moves going on tonight, folks. Like the stuff we don't see in WWE a lot. So yeah, it was really good. And I don't know about you, Drop. This is what I wanted from John Cena's final run. This is what I wanted from his final year. You know?
I don't know, I would have to agree. This is the kind of quality I was expecting from the beginning, which kind of makes me like wish the heel turn never happened. Like, I understand why they wanted to go down that direction, because it was something that they wanted to give to the fans, since it's been something that they've been craving for years on end. So I understand it from that perspective and everything. But it's like, looking back at it now, I kind of just wish it was this Cena with this attitude, because this is the Cena that hits. And when it's his final year, nobody wants to boo him. Nobody wants him to go away or anything. People want to celebrate whatever they have left with him. Just like how he got tonight. Like, this is the best match that he's had since his retirement. Like, don't get me wrong, he's had some good matches. Like, I enjoyed the one that he had with Punk and Randy and all of them.
Mm-hmm.
And I would probably say like the closest to this match is probably the match he had with Cody at SummerSlam in terms of like quality. But it's like this match right here, just with this John Cena knowing AJ Styles, like this is another parallel to what I talked about with our first segment. Cody Rhodes and Seth Rollins are known to be wrestling soulmates because they know each other so well in the ring. You could say the same thing about John Cena and AJ Styles. They're wrestling soulmates. They work so well in the ring. They know each other so well. That's why they were scrappling a little bit in the beginning before they started to take off and just launch that rocket ship off into space. So it's like, I just love this. Like, again, I have no complaints about this match. This was a love letter to many wrestling fans out there that love professional wrestling. If you were to get somebody into wrestling for the very first time, I would say this would be one of the matches I would show them, to truly show them the magic of professional wrestling, to show them what lengths people will go to win a match or to just put on a show, like a class act, a very good performance at a play or or you're watching a good movie, you're really absorbed with the story, and the choreography is great and the acting's great and everything along the lines of that. I would picture it. I would pretty much make a good comparison to that, to what we saw
Mhm.
here tonight. So I'm very glad that we were able to witness this tonight, because this was a really great match between both of these guys. And I
Yeah.
am super happy that we got this match, and that one Styles Clash that Cena did wasn't just the homage. We actually were able to see those guys one more
Mhm.
time, because when you think of Cena's retirement year, AJ Styles has to come up on this list outside of like
Yep.
a Punk and CM Punk, like a Punk and Randy, because those two guys made a lot of sense.
Mhm.
AJ Styles is definitely like in that like top 3, top 5 list of people that need to meet him in the ring one last time.
Yeah. And I mean, I this is one of those times where I do wish Edge was still with the company, so that way we could get that blow off too, because that was my Cena rivalry back in the day. Like that was the first Raw I went to. It was during like the summer of '06, I believe it was. Yeah. Yeah, it was like '06 when him and Edge were kind of going after it. I remember I went to the Raw before SummerSlam when they were about to have their match that weekend and all that. They had like a dark match segment and all that stuff. But oh, good. Sorry, had some pups going on. But go ahead, drop. What was your like moment of the match, by the way?
So my moment of the match, if I'm being perfectly honest, it would honestly not. It would probably have to be what we saw in the very beginning, like outside of the wrestling, the introductions. That's what really hit me, because those kind of things that they said about AJ Styles there wouldn't have been
Mhm.
said 3 or 5 years ago. Like that's just not WWE language when certain other person is there. So it's like I'm glad that he got the introduction that he did. Um, I guess probably like the match itself that really got me outside of what I mentioned there would probably have to be what we got with hmm I don't know. It's like it's really hard to say, because there's like so many good spots in this match. I guess like just all the callbacks that those guys were doing. That's honestly like the best thing I can really say here. So I kind of want to group all that in. It's mainly the callbacks to their history with each other or with other people. I felt like that to me is what really stood out the most, and that's what I personally like. And if there's any people on the chat that also want to mention what stood out to them as well when it comes to this match, be sure to let us know in the comments. Be sure to let us know in the live chat, because it's just hard to really sit down and think of one thing, because there's like so many things. Like it's not even funny. Like there's just so many things listed when it comes to what you could say about this match, but the callbacks for sure is what really hit me. I'm like I said, I'm just glad that they were able to meet in the ring again, because we really thought we were never gonna get this match. It was one of those things that we thought were never gonna happen, but it's thanks to us, the people that watch the product, the people that are really big fans of wrestling, the people that are really big fans of AJ Styles and Cody Rhodes, not AJ, not Cody Rhodes, AJ Styles and John Cena. That we're the reason why this match became a reality, and I'm
There we go.
really happy about that.
Yeah, I think a very like maybe surprising take with this. I kind of like the beginning of this, like the whole feeling out process, because again, it's just like it's one of those instances where these two are just like the top tier. They are the best of the best and all that. And when you have two again, two warriors going after each other like this, they're gonna have that feeling out process, because there's gonna be those moments where it's just like, okay, we're gonna see how we each other are and all that. And like there was a moment too, I'm just like, okay, you guys are actually like kind of moving around like you're doing amateur stuff, like especially like the one part where it's like they were trying to do the test of strength, and you have like John trying to get that wrist control on AJ Styles. I'm just like, oh wait, hold on, this is shit I used to do when I would wrestle and all that, like back in school and everything. I'm like, oh wait, hold on, yeah, get that wrist control, John, get it, because then you can do whatever you want and all that, like get a takedown and all that. And, like, it actually, again, it fully engaged me, even though it was doing like slow stuff like that. But like that again, like we've harped on it a lot during this segment, and it bears repeating more. This was a love letter to wrestling. Whether it's pro wrestling, amateur wrestling, whatever have you, it was a love letter to all of that. And yeah, I no other notes beyond that, I guess. So I mean, unless you have anything else, I mean, I agree with you too. This is definitely a match I would show anybody that want to get into WWE product and all that. Show them this, show them maybe their Royal Rumble 2017 match too, like. Yeah, show them that, because these two guys know what they're doing, and just watching them go at it like they did tonight, it was really good. And plus, shout out to AJ doing pulling off the look he had in his early TNA days tonight too, like wearing the trunks and all that. Like, good on you, dude.
Yeah, that's honestly all I have to really say here. Like, I could honestly go on for like the rest of the show, just really talking about this here, but I felt like I got a good majority of how I felt about everything as a whole. I'm just glad it happened, really.
Yeah, me too, and all that. So we're gonna move on, because we got three other matches we're gonna go through tonight, everybody. One of those being how the night started with the Australian street fight. We had Roman Reigns taking on Bronson Reed, and this was as expected from a match like this, with two hosses going after it. I mean, yeah, the pacing was kind of slow when it came to it, but knowing that both of these guys are hard hitters and will clobber you and do a lot of damage, yeah, it makes sense that it was kind of on the slow end with it all. But yeah, it was still very much fun. We did at least get a cricket bat, so that made it the reason that it was an Australian street fight. No didgeridoos, unfortunately, but that's fine. I'll let it slide this time, WWE. I think one of my favorite chants of the night, though, is, so they were using a stop sign during this match, and the crowd just starts chanting something like read the sign, when they were trying to like use it as a weapon. So that, I think that's my crowd moment of the night, just like that chant of read the sign. That was fun. That was great and all that. But yeah, I mean, again, good match throughout, and then all of a sudden things start hitting the fan when Braun Breaker interferes, like we were talking about the other night. He hits a big old spear on Roman, and then out come the Usos, who timed their double super kick very well with their music to hit Braun Breaker on. So thank you for all that. I do love a good old musical timing and everything. But unfortunately, the Usos aren't able to do too much, as Jimmy gets put through the barricade by Braun Breaker. And when Roman and Bronson Reed are kind of fighting off with each other towards this table that's been set up in the corner, Jay comes in, tries to hit a spear on Bronson, ends up hitting Roman instead. Then he gets taken out, and then a tsunami right onto Roman. 1, 2, 3. Bronson Reed has pinned Roman Reigns.
Yeah.
Michael Cole putting a big old, like, making this like huge deal, as he should, because not many people have pinned Roman Reigns in the past couple years and all that. Yeah, this was a fun match. I'm glad this was the opener. It really kind of set the tone for the night. But I think a lot of the talking points, besides just like the match quality, comes from what happened after the match with basically Roman being like, hey, you know, people don't think I can do this on my own. I needed to do this on my own. Even if I was getting my butt kicked by multiple people, at least I would have done it on my own. Like, we're starting to see more of like this, more of the like the babyface cracks when it comes to the bloodline story going on. But yeah, this is where all the drama goes on. But I've set the table enough. Drop. What do you think of the match? What do you think of the drama going forward? Talk to us.
So when it comes to this match itself, I am very happy that Bronson Reed won because I felt like he really needed this win. And me and you harped on it a lot that he needed this win because it's like, I get the whole spectacle of going up against Roman Reigns because anybody getting in the ring should feel that way going up against Roman Reigns because that's pretty much your ticket to stardom there. I mean, look at what it's done for many people in the company that have gone up against Roman Reigns. Their stock value has risen up and they just become very valuable pieces. So I'm glad that they were able to use this as a street fight. They were able to showcase what it is and what you really need to do to make it feel special. And the biggest talking point really here is, you know, props to Bronson Reed. We'll see where things go from there. I'm hoping things go up because realistically, if you're allowing Roman Reigns to look up at the lights, there should be some sort of thing there when it comes to really pushing the guy to the next level. But the biggest talking point really was what happened after the match when it comes to the Usos coming out, trying to help him. Didn't really fall in Roman's favor. Roman didn't want it. He warned them before. He wanted to do it on his own. Now Roman's making comments at Jay saying, you know, I don't want to see you guys at the Christmas party, all this kind of stuff and everything.
that kind of sent me. I'm not gonna lie. He was just like, I don't want to see y'all till Christmas. I'm like, oh my god, that's like 2 months from now. Oh, okay, sorry, buddy.
Yeah, so it's like I'm just really wondering now, like, okay, you know, because Jay's like, oh, he's the same guy, he's doing this and that or everything.
Mm-hmm.
Jay's walking out and stuff. I'm just wondering, like, what's going on with Jay now moving forward, because that's definitely like the biggest talking point when it comes to like the next stage for his character.
Yeah, and I at least appreciate Roman too, because like I guess this does kind of show some character growth within Roman Reigns, where like as he was kind of like yelling at Jimmy and Jay for doing what they did and all that, he's saying, you know, I love you guys. Like he's harkening on the idea just that like he does care about them. He does appreciate that they want to help, that they want to be there for him and to like lift him up and hold him up and all that stuff. But he is a little peeved that they not necessarily disobeyed an order, but they didn't respect his wishes, because like, yeah, even if he was getting teamed up on, he would lose with that aspect. Fine, whatever. At least he lost on his own, you know. And I think that's one thing that Roman's trying to do right now, and kind of explains why he's not like fully grasping or like fully having the Usos with him throughout what's going on here, because he's trying to do things on his own, trying to prove that, yeah, he can rise to the top on his own. He doesn't need the help of the Usos. He doesn't need the help of Paul Heyman. He doesn't need the help of Solo Sikoa. He is the tribal chief. He needs to stand up on his own 2 feet. And in a way that would also kind of retroactively legitimize his title reign, because like I know a lot of people out there had the issue with Roman's title reign of always there was always some sort of interference to help him. It was always the Usos, it was always Solo Sikoa. He was always having help to win these matches. And so with him, with this mindset of, okay, I need to beat Bronson Reed on my own, or I need to do this on my own, it's him trying to prove that, you know what, even though they did help me back then, I really didn't need their help at all. That's what he needed to prove tonight. that he even in defeat that he didn't need their help, but the Usos came out to try to help him, and now he's in this loss of like, okay, I know they meant well, but damn it, Jay, why did you spear me and all that? Why'd you have to do that?
Yeah.
And a very interesting comment he made too with it, like he made the comment of, this only works if we win, which I don't know. I don't really know how to really take that, because like obviously it would work if you would win, because well then you win and all that stuff. But it's like you had a bit of miscommunication here, and you had an issue where things didn't plan out as it should have. So like if Roman, if you had won this match, would it mean that you would have been happy, or would you have still been upset at the Usos coming out to help you? Like that's going to be a what if in this story here. Like, okay, what happened? What would have happened if the Usos coming out actually did benefit Roman Reigns? Or, you know, the other what if Roman, like what if the Usos didn't come out to help him and Roman ended up losing that way and all that? Yeah, just a lot of what ifs and a lot of things just like going up in the air when it comes to this storyline with the bloodline and all that. Yeah, drop. I think I see you're on mute. I don't know if you had anything else to add while you're
Oh yeah.
taking care of business right now.
Yeah, so the only other things I really have to say as of this moment is it just gets me really curious to see how Monday Night Raw is going to be with this. Like, again, another thing when it comes to what happened with Seth Rollins, like, what is Jey Uso going to do moving forward? Because we already know he's moving different when it comes to his brother, doesn't wanting him to get involved in certain things, which kind of makes me think on the top of my head that even though Jay's projecting a certain way, saying that Roman's doing this or that, kind of in a way he's doing the same thing himself when it comes to how he's treating Jimmy in that scenario, saying he doesn't want him to come out and help and not get involved in everything. So kind of makes him look like a hypocrite, if I'm being honest, because it's like he's complaining about
just a little bit.
Going out there with his brother to help out Roman Reigns, even though he said not to, but then getting upset because Roman didn't want it and everything, and then saying he's the same person. It's like, Jay, have you looked at yourself in the mirror? You're pretty much playing the exact same cards that he was playing years ago when he started turning into the character that he is now. So I'm just really curious to see what this does with him moving forward when it comes to the next event they have, Survivor Series, what they're going to do with Jey Uso to end off the year, because definitely feels like, and I always feel it every time he's in the ring, like he's going to hit a super kick on someone eventually and just lose his shit.
Yeah, like he's next on the crash out list. I mean, we saw some of that happening with Seth Rollins tonight. Jay's probably next on the pecking order, or at least on the list of crash outs coming soon to our television screens and all that. So yeah, it's probably going to be earlier than Christmas when they talk again, like depending on what they end up doing for War Games. I still don't know what they're going to do for that. I mean, obviously the Vision will be part of it, but when it comes to whoever fills out the ranks for the Vision side of everything, or even who they're even going up against too. Like, I mean, I know there's been other rumors going around about who the teams would be, but yeah, I don't really have anything else to say. I mean, this is just the next chapter in all of this, because yeah, Usos helped, and interesting that Jay, like, again, is saying, oh yeah, he's still the same person, all that, which was something that it was one of the big complaints that we had on this channel like a year ago when Roman came back. It's like, okay, why is he a face? He's kind of still the same character. Like, hasn't been any growth with it. And a year later, I can confidently say, yeah, there's been some growth there. Like, it's been, you know, smaller than maybe some people would want, but it's been there, you know, because again, like the old Roman, like bloodline tribal chief Roman would have like yelled at these two for everything they did. He would have been like shoving them and all that. And you can tell with this Roman that he was kind of holding that back. Like he was holding back, like saying something he would regret later on, which shows character growth in somebody.
I agree. That's something you
Yeah.
definitely needed for Roman's character to get somewhat of a change to really see what's going through that little head of his.
Yeah, exactly. And I mean, again, with the match, like it was like when it comes to like the stipulation of the match, I think they did enough with the stipulation. Like there wasn't like a whole bunch of weapons being used. I mean, there are some rugby balls that Roman, anytime he found one, would always try to throw at Paul Heyman, which kind of a funny bit with that. Not really sure why it's called an Australian street fight, except for like the rugby balls and the cricket bat and all that, but fine, whatever. Still upset I didn't get my didgeridoo, but maybe for the next Australian street fight we can get that.
Hopefully.
Man. Hopefully, but yeah, I mean, from one Australian to another Australian, let's get on to our next match here tonight. We had a women's tag team match going on. We had Rhea Ripley and Io Sky taking on the Kabuki Warriors, and I'm just going to say this. This was an awesome showcase for these women. Everybody looked really good in here. The whole story being that Io's taking the brunt of the offense, and we're just waiting, anticipating that hot tag onto Rhea and all that. And yeah, just there were some strikes from Asuka that looked really good. Like she was on point with a lot of those. And I mean, I know a lot of people have issues with Kairi Sane at points where like sometimes she could be a little too much. When it comes to like either selling or pulling off a move or anything of the like, but I thought she looked really good. She's kind of like settling into her role as as a toady, I guess, or like the little person that like I don't want to say henchman, mainly like the number 2 or like maybe okay. I'll use this just to kind of get my point across with it. She's more like the Harley Quinn version of like Asuka's Joker, where like yeah, she's there to like help out Mr. J, but she's gonna get her butt kicked. She's gonna end up getting arrested. She's gonna be the pawn that gets used in order for the hero to win and the villain to escape. And that's kind of what happened here, where Kairi, she blind tagged herself in at the end of the match, and Rhea took them both out. They did this. She hit the riptide and tagged Io into the match to do her over the moonsault. 1, 2, 3. That was the end of the match. So Asuka didn't get pinned, and you know, looking at it from, I guess, now that the match has happened and it played out and all that, because again, it's all about execution when it comes to these things. I'm fine with this outcome. I know during predictions I was like, Asuka kind of needs to win here, but at least Asuka didn't take the pin.
Yeah. And
it kind of furthered the story even more within the match with Kairi like pushing Asuka out of the way, and kind of in a way too, like I think it took Asuka out. Like the camera didn't pick it up, but I'm pretty sure when Kairi pushed Asuka, she ran into the pole out there too, which kind of took her out too for the rest of the match. But yeah, I thought this was really good between both women. And I had even said this too in our Discord chat. I wish we could get more tag team matches like this, not only just from the women, but from the men too, like on a weekly basis, because this was really good. You know, considering like Kabuki Warriors are like one of the top tag teams of the division, and Rhea and Io are just Rhea and Io and all that. But Drop, what'd you think of the match? What'd you think of the winner of the match and some of the storyline elements that took place within the whole match itself?
So when it comes to this match itself, awesome showcase, like you said. I'm really glad that Rhea had a moment here. Her and Io were able to pull off a W in this scenario. And I like how the Kabuki Warriors were able to show what they're capable of. Asuka, we already know what she's capable of. She already made a name for herself. The only one that's really struggling, at least from my perspective, whenever I see her on television to really stand out and actually be meaningful in some way, is probably with Kairi Sane. So I'm glad that she was able to at least do a little something to stand out, and maybe what happens moving forward could really help elevate with whatever's coming next for her. Because the biggest talking point out of this match, outside of the outcome of Io and Rhea, getting that sweet revenge on them for being bitches towards them, I would probably have to say whatever's going on with Kairi next, because they did that for a reason. Because with Kairi taking Asuka's spot in that moment before she got hit, her sacrificing herself, that only shows us right there that whatever happens on Monday Night Raw between Kairi and Asuka backstage, whatever the case may be, is going to be something to pay attention to. Because in Kairi's defense, she did that to help Asuka. But then Asuka's going to flip it on her and be like, oh, well, you shouldn't have done that. You had us lose the match and everything. And then that's going to start building more into, okay, how much of this is Kairi going to take? Are you going to continue getting whipped by Asuka, just listening to everything she says? Or is she going to step out of her shell and just let loose on Asuka? Because Kairi's a victim in this entire thing going on right now, just like how Io was being manipulated and telling to do this or that. So it's like with Kairi now, it just gives her more of a reason to really think and look at it where she's like, maybe, Io and Rhea were right about it. Because still, even when she's going up against them, it doesn't really seem like there's any hatred there. Obviously participating in a wrestling match, but it all really stems to Asuka. So I'm honestly hoping that whatever comes to life when it comes, basically like whatever comes with Kairi moving forward, really helps elevate her character too. Because I've been wanting to see her, do a little something for quite some time in order for her to stand out. Because it could be one of those things where it's like, she just continues to deal with it, or she actually takes notice of what's going on.
Yeah. Like, does she stand up now? Does she stand up when it's too late? Like, what is Kairi's deal when it comes to Asuka and all that? And yeah, and even Michael Cole was trying to say this, like, through commentary and all that. Like, there's a part of Kairi that just kind of fears Asuka in a way, which, I mean, that only just bigs up Asuka in general as this pseudo Yakuza boss that I keep picturing her as right now. Yeah, this match was just really good. I mean, everybody in the ring is really good, and it's just nice to have a good tag team match, because like Kabuki Warriors have this really good chemistry. Like there's this one point where Kairi's like teasing Rhea a little bit to like trying to goad her to get into the ring or like distract the referee and all that, and it works. And you just see like the two just like almost like gnats or like buzzards on a carcass on the side of the road, just like going in on Io, just like stomping her down, like kind of like that JoJo meme from part 5 where like 3 of them are just beating down on this poor guy because they think he's a stand user and all that. Funny scene, funny moment and all that, but like that's basically what they were doing here. And a lot of the blind tags they were doing between each other, like keeping each other fresh in the ring, like it's just really good tag team chemistry that they have with one another. And again, with like Rhea and Io too, I mean, they were a good team here, and if anything, maybe they can capitalize on this. Maybe they can enter the tag team division, because like if we can get quality matches like this in any of the tag team divisions, then please give it to me. Give me all of that, so that way I can enjoy my tag team wrestling again, instead of being like, oh yeah, just your typical WWE tag team match. heels beating down the baby faces, get the hot tag, and then there's the rest of the match and all that. Like, nah, this had a little bit more layers to it, which I love and enjoy out of my tag team wrestling.
Yeah.
But where do you think things are going to go from there? Like, I mean, I know you had mentioned, maybe Asuka kind of berating Kairi a little bit more, even though she sacrificed herself for Asuka. But where do you think things are going to be going? Because I know, like, during our prediction show when we were talking about this, like, it's kind of hard to see where Asuka goes from here, because they lost the match, and Io got that one over and kind of proved that she's a little better than her senpai. Which, can I just say, hearing Michael Cole describe what a senpai is to people, it made me chuckle a little bit, because I'm like, oh, that's so cute. That's adorable how he's describing what a senpai is to everybody. Where do you think everything's going to go with Asuka mainly going forward here?
I think we gotta start walking towards like a Rhea and Asuka program or a Io and Asuka program. Eventually down the line, I feel like that's what it's gonna lead to. But for Asuka's case, I figure I feel like that's what it is really. Maybe something with her and Io or something. I'm not entirely sure yet.
Yeah, you would assume so, I think, because I know Rhea wants to go after Stephanie,
Yeah.
and I'm pretty sure she had already made her mark after Crown Jewel, which I could see Asuka maybe costing her and continuing it through there. That could be a thing too, or maybe like Asuka tries to insert herself in that. But yeah, I do think we'll have to get the blow off between Asuka and Io eventually. Maybe before or after, probably after some of that stuff happens, because I feel like these women are going to be part of the women's war game match in November. So they'll find a way to kind of prolong everything. I think I think, again, everybody looked really good in this match, and again, the way the match panned out, I'm fine with Asuka losing here. I hope forward momentum keeps going when it comes to Asuka, Kairi, Io. Of course, Rhea's going to be continuously pushed because she's Rhea Bloody Ripley and all that. Like, she's one of Triple H's girls and all that. Just push the other three too. Like, keep their momentum forward, and you won't see much complaints from me and all that.
Yeah, same.
Yeah. Which, I mean, I guess brings us to our last match here, which also probably had the least amount of build going into Crown Jewel. And honestly, this is the match I mentioned earlier. I wasn't too locked in with it, where we had the women's Crown Jewel title, Stephanie Vaquer taking on Tiffany Stratton. I thought it was a good match. I thought it was really good. There was a couple like different holds that Stephanie Vaquer was hitting or holding on to Tiffany on. Like, there was one where they were like standing up and she had like her leg twisted on hers and all that. So that was fine and all that. It was a good match. It's just I wasn't really fully locked in on it. So unfortunately, I don't have much more to say on that. Just I'm glad Stephanie won. That's all I'm gonna say with that.
And now we are here for our final thoughts and outro. No, so when it comes to this match itself, I mean, I thought it was a good match between the both of them. There's parts of me thinking whenever Stephanie does that thing in the corner of the ring where she like does that little leg thing, like twists it a little bit. I don't know why every time I get like that gut feeling down where nothing's gonna get torn, even though it just meant to look that way. But I'm just glad that Stephanie was able to win this match because, again, they were talking about the accolades that she had this year. She was NXT champion. She was a NXT North American champion. She was the first woman to ever hold 2 titles like that in NXT. And then having her win a world title when she hasn't even been on a main roster that long. I mean, that's a lot of stuff to brag about to prove how great you are. And that just makes her win hit even harder because of what happened at that very moment. So I'm just glad that she won the match. One of the things I can say is they did mention that, Tiffany Stratton has been defeated all year. It's like 17-0 or whatever. So it's
Mhm.
making me think on the top of my head, like, is this loss from Tiffany gonna like wrinkle some feathers? Is it gonna make her lose confidence? Are we gonna see some different side of Tiffany Stratton moving forward whenever we hit SmackDown on Friday? Like, what's
Yeah.
going on now? Like, that's what I want to know. Like, deep down, like, is it gonna sort of get in her head in a way, because
Mhm.
you were undefeated all this year, and then all of a sudden, you got this loss. Are you just gonna look over it because it's just one match, or are you gonna start questioning? That's all I really have to say
Yeah.
on that part.
Yeah. Just like where we go moving forward with both women, who their contenders are going to be coming up, and just what they can get into. Hopefully in Tiffany's case, it gets to her being a heel again, because that's where I think her character really thrives, as a heel and not a cookie cutter babyface. So yeah, no other notes besides that. It was a good match. I wish there was more heat going into it, but maybe something could come from coming out of it, because that's all we can ask for at this point. Just like do something more to kind of move the plot forward and all that. But it's this kind of leads into our final thoughts of the night, which again, like I said earlier, I thought this was a really strong show. Definitely a lot better than flipping WrestlePalooza and all that. Like that was a show that happened. Like I'll just say that much. Like it happened. It definitely was a show with wrestling on it. Just wasn't that good. But tonight, really great action from especially like the top three matches that we talked about, or mainly four, I guess. Like, well, five. Like all the matches, all the match quality was good, as we had suspected. It's just one of them wasn't as engaging, and that's mainly because of the build going into it. But everything else, like everything, just delivered tonight. It was a very solid wrestling show. I thought that brought out probably the best of the company that we desperately kind of needed, especially after WrestlePalooza. Because and a little bit before that, with I think Clash in Paris too, a lot of people felt like they were falling off of WWE a bit. So having a show like this, it was just fun, and that's really all you need to be having or doing when it comes to a any product that you're watching, whatever form of entertainment you're watching, as long as you're entertained in some way, or like it brings out some sort of emotion out of you, it's at least doing its job. And tonight they did their job. They understood the assignment to get everything done, to have some great matches for the Australian people and for us back at home, watching either live super early in the morning or watching the VOD like me and Drop did later on today to see what happened and all that. Which, thank you, internet, for not being too spoilery with it. I know most people do have VPNs to watch all this stuff, and they were posting live as it was going. But I appreciate my timeline for at least not spoiling me on a lot of things. I was spoiled, I think, on the Jey Uso spear onto Roman. I was spoiled on that. And then another thing was the 3-1 thing. So I knew going into the match that Seth was going to win. It's just I didn't know how it was going to happen. Very much happy with how it happened and all that. But as we wait for Drop to return to give his final thoughts, I'm just going to take time right now to, thank you guys in the chat right now. I see you guys popping off in there. Glad to see you guys talking and all that. Hopefully everybody's having a good evening and all that. We're wrapping up the show here and everything, giving our final thoughts and everything. So I'll just go ahead and do some quick plugs really quick. So you see your screen right now. You see it, you see the window that has me, my pretty little face on there. You see the screen that will have Drop on there with his pretty little face on there. You see the logo. But outside of all that, in the yellow part of the screen are some lovely social media handles. That's where you can find us on many social media sites like the Twitter, like the Instagram, like the TikTok, like Blue Sky, because Blue Sky still exists and all that. It's still going strong. Sometimes I click on that thing, sometimes I don't, but that's besides the point. But you can follow us on all those social medias, whether you want to talk to us about wrestling or some other nerd stuff like, DC stuff, Marvel stuff, anime, manga, and all that. You can check us all out there and engage in the conversation. Follow us with our lives and our other content that we do and all that. And those links are also in the description below, so you can check all that stuff out going forward. But as Drop has returned to us, Drop, I'm going to bring it off to you. What did you think of the night? Any final thoughts you have regarding Crown Jewel? Let the crowd know.
So when it comes to my final thoughts, I really enjoyed the show tonight. I'm glad that we saw AJ Styles and John Cena go at it one last time. That was really nice. I'll definitely go back and look at that match again. And I'm glad that there's a lot of stories that are being told once we get out of this PLE and we go to Monday and SmackDown, so we can figure out what's going to be happening next.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, hopefully we have some good stuff going on moving forward, and especially with Seth Rollins going forward, like seeing where that goes. I know Monday is also kind of stacked, not just with like some of the fallout from Crown Jewel, but we do have Raquel and Roxanne taking on Bailey and Lyra Valkyria, so that should be a fun match. We do have Dom putting up his IC title against Penta, which, again, another rumor I saw going around. I don't know if you saw this either, just kind of hype up Survivor Series a little bit. But apparently a rumored match for Survivor Series is Dom versus John Cena for the IC title.
Yeah.
So
I have no issue with that.
I don't either. Yeah, great. I mean, the crowd were chanting for a 619 tonight. Maybe that's when John pulls that out.
Could very well be.
Yeah. Ah, man. But hey, with that being said, those are our final thoughts on Crown Jewel. And yeah, just give us your final thoughts in the chat, in the comments if you're watching the VOD. I already gave the plugs for you guys, so you know where all that stuff is at. So don't have to spend time doing all that. Instead, I'm going to spend time to thank you for taking time out of your day to listen to the Weebs of the Ring podcast. If you enjoyed what we had to say, again, all those links, all those socials, all those handles right there at your fingertips to check us out. And also be sure to use the hashtag Weebs of the Ring, by the way. Whenever you post on social media, it's a good way to kind of engage with us within the conversation, whether it's before, during, or after these events. Hey, we love to hear from you guys. We love to see how the conversation's going and all that. And it's also a great way to give us feedback because, hey, we're nothing without you guys tuning in, and we demand ourselves to be better with each show that we put on, whether it be Raw, SmackDown, Grappling with the Week, or PLE coverage. Hey, we're going to continue to do our best to be better than we were during the last podcast. Weebs of the Ring is presented by Anima We Studio. Thanks to our production team for all of their hard work to put the show on every single time. Thank you once again for joining us. And remember, as always, no stunt grannies were harmed in the recording of this podcast. Have a good night, ladies and gentlemen, and we'll see you on Monday for the Monday Night Raw coverage. Have a good night, everybody.
See you guys for Monday.